In this short clip, we're going to examine the characteristics of the hunter-gatherer. We're going to look at migration, invention and technology, and art and culture. Migration played a large role in the hunter-gatherer society. Reasons include food, seasons, and weather. Hunter-gatherers would move according to the food and animal populations. This was based on seasons, weathers, and animal migration patterns. Migration influenced the family in a huge way. Women could not have as many children. Generally, they would only have two children, as it took a lot of work moving and migrating to find food. This defined gender roles. Women generally stayed at home watching the children and gathering food while men went out and hunted and protected the family. I want to spend some time talking about migration to the Americas specifically. Migration to the Americas happened over a long period of time. It was a diverse population that came with many backgrounds and cultures. It was very diverse. However, they all came over through Siberia, which was then attached to what's now Alaska, and crossed over. It's called the Bering Land Bridge. They came in and settled all throughout North America and down into South America. Invention and the growth in technology led to a lot of different things. Materials changed at this time. Hunter-gatherers were not only using stone, they're also using bone, ivory, and antlers. These products are more malleable and they're able to create sharper objects for knives and just a vast variety of different objects. One example of technology changing is the use of fire. Fire was used for warmth, for cooking, for agriculture. Hunter-gatherers would use fire to burn land and create rich soil, which is a technique still used in some parts of the world today. They also used fire for art. They had invented the kiln, which was used for warmth and cooking, but they could also create ceramic figurines and artwork through that. Some examples of this new technology include fish hooks and nets. Both men and women at this time were hunting and catching fish with the nets. Sharper blades were also created, along with wooden handles, which were often attached to spears, which you can see at the bottom, and handles for axes. This made life much easier as men were able to kill wild animals from a farther distance. They were also able to cut down trees and use that for a variety of different reasons, and this made life much simpler. Sewing needles also became common. They were made out of antler or ivory or bones, and this also helped improve the way of life. All these examples show how hunter-gatherers were controlling their environment rather than having their environment controlling them. This drastically improved their way of life. As technology increased, culture and art also increased. Hunter-gatherer societies, you'll see ritualistic ideology. You can see this through ritualistic cannibalism, a variety of burials. Likewise, non-essential items became more popular as technology increased and people had more time to devote for the creation of artistic ideas. Art is shown in the caves in France. You'll see large pictures and paintings in the caves there. Jewelry was created. If you look at the bottom picture, you will see a woman buried covered in beads. Sculptures, just different artwork was becoming much more popular at this time. And this led to a more consumeristic society. And therefore, you can see the growth in technology, how it improved the way of life, how it grew consumerism, and then a decline in migration. As people were consuming items, it became easier to settle down and grow a larger production of food in a smaller area rather than hunting and gathering it. So you will see towards the end of this period a decline in migration. And then finally, if you look at this last chart, it will show the main three ideas that were discussed: migration, invention, technology, art and culture, and how they influenced each other. Um, with migration came that growth in technology, which then influenced an improved way of life and more time to cultivate art and culture, thus a growth in consumerism, and towards the end, an end in migration.